Hello, folks. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about many things that I could be doing that I'm not doing, and I have many things like this. I'm always thinking about what am I not doing. So, it's not a great thing to do, but I'm always thinking about what am I not doing, what could I be doing that I'm not doing to improve things, or something that I want to do but I'm not doing, right? So, what are the different things that I could be doing that I'm not doing as of now? So, in life, in my work, career, and all. So, for example, currently my therapist is changing, so I still haven't reached out to my new therapist. I have to talk to him and get an appointment and whatnot. I haven't been, refilling my prescription, my medicines, because it's gonna get over. I need to do that. These are very small things. Some bigger things are like, okay, some more small things. Let's say in terms of life, in terms of health, I could be doing some small exercises like using hand grip, glute bridge, and lifting some weights, get some dumbbells, or go to some gym. I still haven't gotten my gym membership yet to go to a gym, so I'm not doing that. So exercise and stretches, right? So I recently had a back pain for which I was recommended to do stretches and core exercises, especially core back and core, the especially the back and the lower back and all. So what else? What else am I not doing other than? So I'm not waking up early these days. I sleep late and I wake up late, and hence I eat late, and hence I also take my medicines late, which I should ideally be taking at the right time every day at the same time and properly. If it's morning, it's morning. If it's at night, it's at night. So that I'm not doing. Too much screen time, but yeah, I think I can't help it because I do a lot of work stuff. So yes. Um, and what else am I not doing? I'm not. So I'm trying to run a small community for job searchers, and I'm not doing anything over there. I could be doing something. I don't want to say I should be, because my therapist has always said like you're always thinking about what should be, and stuck there and not taking small actions. So I just thought I'll just note down everything or record everything that I could be doing or kind of like should be doing or want to do that I'm not doing yet or that I'm not doing now. So that I can come back to these later. So that so I can come back to these later and also focus and understand what can I chuck or what can I get rid of for the time being, and what can I what can I do later, or what can I just keep it in the back seat, right? So yeah, I'm running a community. I'm not doing much there, so I could be trying to talk to people. So I'm not talking to much people these days. My friends, I actually don't really feel like I have much friends. Some of the friends that I have now will just kill me if I just say this in front of them. And growing up, yeah, I've always felt that I've not really had any friends, at least friends who stayed for long, and I also didn't contact them much whenever I moved on from one city to another and from one school to another and all that. So I'm not talking much to people other than my partner and my parents maybe. So I'm not meeting my siblings, my nephew and niece. I'm not meeting my parents. I'm not meeting my sister, my brother-in-law, and yeah, I'm not meeting my friends in person. I met them last quite some time back, like 1 month back, but I could meet them more often. At least the people who are in India because I'm in India. So these are some life stuff. So health stuff, yeah, I mentioned the whole medicines, therapist, get medicines, talk to my new therapist, and Also help my partner with booking appointments because she's been caught up and she hasn't done some stuff that she needs to do. I want to support her by taking care of the small things like booking an appointment. That's all. What else? Yeah, I mean, in terms of work, I still don't have a job. I'm actively looking as of now, yes. I'm also thinking about my startup, and I've been thinking for all these 8 months. I've been out of a job since I think October 2024. So it's been 8 months now. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So it's been 8 months. May is over now. So today is May 31st. So yeah. And so it's been 8 months. I left October start some October 4th, 2024, I think. So that it was a Friday. So yeah, I mean, but the good thing is I'm now in a house which I got in about 2 months back in the like in March 2025, in the March end. Before that, I was in a hostel sharing a room with a roommate, so it was not easy to get stuff done in the room. At least I could go to the cafeteria, which had a big table, cafeteria and the terrace, right, in the roof. So yeah, they had a rooftop place, and I could just sit there and work. Uh, Closed rooftop, covered rooftop. So yeah, and yeah, that was the only place I could work peacefully and whatnot. So now I have a big house where I can just breathe in and not stay inside a dark room, because my ex-roommate used to prefer a dark room, no lights as much as possible. Anyway, so yeah, life-wise, yeah, I'm doing well in terms of like I found a partner in September. We met in October, like last September 2024. We met in October. Like in person, we met in October, though we had started talking in September 2024 itself. And it's been going well. That is one good thing. Yeah, work wise, I still haven't gotten a job though. So yeah, I'm trying to apply to more companies. I'm trying to understand how to make my resume better and what to do to gain skills. For example, learn some new programming language just for fun, and also for learning something new. Say something like Rust or Haskell or Scala. This is one database that's written in Scala, which is actually a JVM language. So Scala, Clojure, just to understand different concepts in programming, some newer concepts that are not there in some languages, but they are there in other programming languages, right? So, like learn functional programming and things like that, or meta programming, which is possible in Rust, I think. I don't know. It's possible in Ruby, I know that. It's not possible in some languages, I think. I'm not sure, like Golang and all. So, crazy stuff. And learn languages like and I know a bit of Python, but maybe a bit more. So that's something that I could be doing, like learning some new programming languages. Just spend a few minutes, like 5 minutes every day, to learn something new in a new programming language. And in life also, I could be learning a new language, like just 5 minutes every day. And same for health, like work on my body, like do exercises, just 5 minutes every day at least, or 2 minutes or 1 minute, right? Do 1 minute of these, that's all. And then read books. So read a book and read more and more books. I have so many books. A lot of them I didn't read. A lot of them I didn't read. Some of them I've read completely, or some of them I've read halfway and left. So read books probably just 1 page a day or something, or just one line a day. Just spend a minute. So read books is one thing that I could be doing that I'm not doing. And in terms of work, so work also has books, technical books that I could be reading, like database internals, data intensive applications, microservice patterns, distributed systems, operating systems, patterns in distributed systems, database reliability engineering, site reliability engineering, There are many books out there that I have in mind that I could be reading that I'm not reading. Also, data structures and algorithms related books like there is one big book. I think there are many big books, and some books that I actually used in college that I learned from, like Anani Levitin, analysis and data analysis. I think no analysis of data structures and algorithms, something like that. Right? So what else? Um, I could be reading other technical books and life-related books, like I don't know, different attachment theories, and books like I don't know psychology or even medical books. I would want to learn simply just books that doctors read, just to simply read something new, different, something that's hard to understand and whatnot. And yeah, I could also be in life. I could also be learning some new musical instrument. So like a ukulele, uke. My partner has a uke, and she also wants to learn the keyboard and play music on a keyboard. So yeah. And in terms of work, yeah, I mean, I still haven't read the source code of any database that I want to do because I've been wanting to do this. I mean, I've been wanting to work in databases for years now, since 2020, 2021, something like that. I even got a domain name called hosteddatabase.in long back. I still haven't done much in the database world, so I think that might be something that I want to do first. Like, do it every day, like little bit, 1 minute or something. Think about databases, right? And however, databases are all about performance and how data is stored. So I think data structures and algorithms will be useful here. I'll still solve problems in lead code just to do performance stuff. Lead code and use YouTube for neat code, and also learn stuff from this place called Byte Go for system design and all that, to understand database, where it fits in, and the design decisions, and how data is stored in databases. There are different kinds of databases with different features, like transactions, and how transactions happen, two-phase commits, and whatnot, and how locking happens, and how distributed locking happens, and different databases, not just like some or some specific ones, like say Redis, Valkey, Postgres, MariaDB, um, and so any open source database, like even something like FaunaDB, which actually recently sadly closed down, and they open sourced their source code generously, and so many other databases out there, Neon and whatnot, and I could actually be reading the source code of all these databases. There are so many databases, and then I could be reading the source code of like the databases created by research scholars for research projects. So, for example, there is this group called CMU Database Group, CMU DB Group. It's basically Carnegie Mellon University Database Group. Excuse me. So, this group has, I think, two professors. I just know one professor's name. I forgot the other name. Pablo. I think it's Andy Pablo. Basically, I think Andy is short for Andrew. He's a great teacher when it comes to databases. So maybe in terms of following people, I can follow him. He used to run a company, actually now it's shut down, unfortunately. It was about database tuning, so I could learn about that. So yeah, I could be learning about database tuning, and then yeah, I mean. What else? I could be actually contributing to database projects and any open source projects, like reading more and more source code, understanding how clean code is written, and how understandable code is written, how code is tested, and how to write integration tests and end-to-end tests, and like how to make it easier to test software, and how to make software performant, right? And then architectures, understand about architectures, read books on architectures, And then there are stuff like I want to work with large scale systems and also hardcore computer science problems, basically CS problems or computer science engineering problems. And I want to learn about microprocessors, microcontrollers, basically all the stuff that I learned in college, but I forgot. I learned a bit, not too much, but I forgot. And and yeah, apart from databases, go into the data world and understand data lakes, data warehouses, data analytics, business intelligence, and data engineering, data pipelines, and all, and data science, and also ML AI. I could be actually running ML models in my local, like DeepSeek and whatnot, and try to understand how where the current AI world is in, and LLM world is in, like AI as in artificial intelligence and LLM as in large language models as in, and yeah, like run AI models, try to train AI, try to train LLM models, learn ML, machine learning, try to understand where machine learning can still be used. Like I like stuff like genetic algorithms and whatnot that I learned in college. It was pretty interesting how it takes it takes generations and understands similar to how humans evolved, how an algorithm can evolve. So that would be great. Understanding how ML training works, machine learning training works, and how AI, like large language models are trained and whatnot. For example, I actually joined this course called ML Ops, basically machine learning operations, which is more about operations around machine learning, like training and running and whatnot, and probably even, I don't know, tuning, I don't know. So basically, data scientists will actually do a lot of ML stuff, but someone needs to deploy it, right? Deploy the model and train it and whatnot, like run the training and whatnot. So how it works, I still haven't completed it. I didn't even started a bit. So this is actually an MLOps Zoom camp course by Data Talks, and I think this is the last version. I still haven't submitted my homeworks. That is all due. Someone actually reached out on LinkedIn and about doing it together, but I haven't reached out to her again later. So I don't know if she's doing it and whatnot. And yeah, I mean MLOps Zoom camp, and then I'm also enrolled in this course by Google for site reliability engineering fundamentals, SRE with Google, SRE fundamentals with Google, and I haven't watched all the classes, and I don't know if the recordings will be available in the future, like in the near future or later, because the course is getting over this week. That's all. So I still haven't completed my. Actually, course was over last week itself, and they'll check the projects, and I still haven't completed the. It's a 2 week course. It was a 2 week course, and I think in the future also they'll conduct. I'm not sure. It was on this website called UpLimit for training. So similar to Coursera, edX, and all. So I still haven't done the projects the both the weekly projects. So I need to do that. I could be doing that and learning, and I can actually go ahead and see all the recordings that are available because I didn't attend the live class always, and not completely always, right? And yeah, I was trying to form a community for contributing to open source for specifically etcd, which is a database. I still haven't read the source code of etcd or tried to find any issues that I can work on and all. I also haven't read the source code of this project called Bolt DB on top of which etcd works. It's actually created by some person called Ben Johnson, I think. And etcd folks, the maintainers forked the, like cloned, basically forked the project after Ben Johnson like archived the BoltDB project because it was mature and it was working well, and adding more features or trying to do more will only cause problems to the stability. So yeah, stability and cause bugs and whatnot, like performance bugs or security bugs or anything, right? But etcd is still running it, like forking it and maintaining it. And there are so many other open source projects by Ben Johnson that I could be actually checking out and reading. For example, he built, I think, Lightstream, and then he also built many SQL related stuff where basically you stream SQLite to some place and backup that thing or something like that around SQLite. So, and he is in a company called Fly.io, which basically is actually into running applications on the edge. So, and they use SQLite a lot and distributed SQLite. So Ben Johnson has created distributed SQLite also. So, and they run it with I think eventual consistency instead of strong consistency, using something like etcd and Raft consensus algorithm and all. So yeah, I could be actually implementing the Raft consensus algorithm. I could be implementing the XX hash algorithm, all of it in Golang or Rust. I could be rewriting or porting, say, different projects in Golang, in Rust, or just building it on my own again in Golang or Rust. Um, Before reading the source code of the existing projects or after reading. For example, there's this interesting project called TIKV, Titanium Key Value Store, by this company called PingCap, which I think is a Chinese company, I'm not sure. So they have created this using Rust, and they have also created a TIDB, which is Titanium database, which is a MySQL compatible database, I believe, which runs on top of TIKV. So they are basically creating a relational database on top of a document database, which is actually a key value store. So using a key value store, they are creating a relational database. Like the key value store is the actually main store where the data is stored. I wonder how they stored it and how performant it is and whatnot. But apparently, it's very scalable and performant. So I could read this open source projects, those open source projects, the source code of those databases. I could read database internals book. I could read data intensive applications book. I told that. Designing data intensive applications, basically by Martin Kleppmann, and database internals by, I think, Alex Petrov. I could actually be following these people, talking to these people. One more thing that I can do is actually email these people, cold email these people, simply discuss stuff with these people, pick their brain on different ideas that I have or other people have around databases or data in general, and understand how data is stored, because now data, everyone is generating data, and usually some important kinds of data are, say, government data, say, research data, say, financial data where financial transactions are stored. These kinds of data are actually very important, and it has to be durable, and it has to stay for quite some time, and has to be stored secure in a secured way and in a durable way so that it's not lost. So I could be reading the source code of databases and also trying to understand how data is stored, and look at that, because data is going nowhere, especially some financial data. Basically, history, people capture a lot of history of what has happened and or what is happening on the go, and yeah, social media, everything, right? So I deem the like some data is very important. For example, financial data, which is important to keep records and ensure that people just spend money, that people need to keep that info. And also health records, for example, so yeah. And then emails, maybe very important emails, maybe, and all that. So basically communication. So yeah, and of course government data, if it has to be kept secret, so it has to be kept secret, right? Understand how databases are used in different places, right? And how users use features of databases. How do people manage databases, large scale, high scale databases, and highly performant databases? I could also be understanding how the performance benchmarks run in databases. There are different kinds of benchmarks for databases. Like I think there's something called TPC, I forgot. So for different kinds of databases, I think there might be different kinds of benchmarks. Read the benchmark tests, read the benchmark performance results, try to run it maybe if possible. And so these are some things that I could be doing. And yeah, I could also try to understand where to focus because I have so many things in my mind, and work hard, and yeah, one thing I could be doing is not sleep much because I've been sleeping a lot in these last 8 months. So I would rather sleep only for the time that I need, say 7 8 hours or max 9 hours, and spend the remaining time on my life and my work stuff. Life as in health, my partner, my relationships, my friends, and all, my family, and then my work stuff. So yeah, I mean, focus on both and provide balance. So what else could I be doing? Yeah, I mean, I could be actually emailing a lot of people who are working in databases, people who are creating or running startups, and I could actually be asking them questions to pick their brains or pitch to some people, asking, do you want a database administrator or a developer who can maintain the database and also, you know, like run the database in a performant way for you, like say for Valkey or PostgreSQL, something like that. And yeah, like I said, I could be reading the source code of so many databases like Andy Pavlo from CMU, Carnegie Mellon University Database Group. He has actually, I think group and along with him have actually created a lot of databases. Like I remember looking at this one database called self-managing database. It's pretty interesting. It's open source, and they have actually a course also on database. I could be actually looking at the lectures of that course. It's on YouTube. I haven't actually seen all of it. I've seen some of it, and that's all. And then I didn't get to it. I didn't see it. They run it every year, once or twice. You know, fall and spring, I think, something like that. So there are different semesters, fall and spring and whatnot. So every year, and they have two courses. One course is about just introduction to databases. Another course is about advanced databases. So they have recordings from all the past years and the recent years, and they also have a website for the CMU database group, the Carnegie Mellon University database group, and they have projects under their GitHub where they host the projects, and they have their own websites for all this. For the course management and some stuff. One is public, another is I think private for students, where they submit assignments and homework assignments, and it gets evaluated and all. And then they have a group in Discord, I think, and maybe even Slack for this CMU database group, and for the students and for anyone attending the course online through YouTube and all. So I can actually look at the course, check it out, and learn from it. And I can also learn from the people, reach out to people and learn from them, talk to them, ask them questions, pick their brains on stuff and whatnot. And yeah, I could be cold emailing people if they need any help and all. And what else? And yeah, I could actually be reading about monitoring and alerting, which is one field that I'm also interested in. And there are a lot of companies doing a lot of great work here, like companies like Sentry, companies like Timescale Database, which is actually a database, but it also helps in monitoring and alerting. And then also look at companies like Victoria Metrics. I think they have open source database, and it's all open source. And then look at companies like I don't know, any kind of monitoring and observability company like Datadog, New Relic, Cisco's App Dynamics, IBM's Dynatrace. I think that's what it's called. I think I can't recall exactly. So there are different companies with different products, and learn from that, monitoring and observability. And also, I could be learning stuff about infrastructure optimization, which is basically about specifically about cloud infrastructure optimization. Basically, I'm referring to the software world where people use public cloud like AWS, Azure, or GCP. How do you optimize cost, infrastructure cost without losing on performance? So I saw some person um talk about it. So I know this person named Shamsher Ansari, and he has actually talked about it and has implemented it, where he implemented infrastructure cloud cost optimization. So in a company called Platform 9, and there are so many research papers that I could be reading. For example, Google Spanner, Bigtable, and whatnot. There are so many Raft. I read Raft once, but I forgot now. And I could actually be looking at the implementations of, say, Raft consensus algorithm, or implementation of Google Spanner. Like I think Cockroach DB is an implementation of Google Spanner. Titanium key value database is actually an implementation of Google Spanner, I think. And then even Scilla DB, I think, is an implementation of Google Spanner. And then I think even Cassandra DB is actually a implementation of Google Spanner research paper, I think. And of course, Google Spanner itself is a implementation of Google Spanner, I think. And there are so many good research papers around databases. And someone told me to check out VLDB, which is actually, I think, I forgot the full name. It's basically, I think, very large scale or very log something. VLDB is actually a conference and a journal, I think. Not exactly a conference, but it's basically a place where people put research papers. I know some people who are in the database world who are in, say, Google, working on Alloy, the database with C++, and who worked in companies like CouchDB and whatnot. So they are a database person. I could be attending, you know, meetups, database meetups, and conferences, database conferences like PostgreSconf and all that. I once attended it, and I didn't attend later because I didn't know much to get more from it, and I didn't network enough. But yeah, next time when I have money, I think I'll go ahead and network more. Read the source code of Yogabyte DB, Yogabyte database, Planet database. There are so many. Planet Scale, I think. There are so many other timescale databases, timescale database and whatnot, and ClickHouse database and whatnot, and maybe try out the cloud databases as a service of these companies if they have any. For example, ClickHouse has one, and then there are also consultancy companies and databases as a service companies like ScaleGrid, and then Ivan, UpCloud, and so many others. Like, of course, AWS, GCP, and Azure, and many other companies, right? And also, of course, Oracle and whatnot. Try to understand the services, learn from it. And this person that I said, who worked in Google Cloud and in Couch Database and all, is working in Google Cloud, I think, in LA. So I met her, I think, in some conference or I think some event, and I asked her, about stuff, and I connected with her, and I later noticed her in a meetup also. She was attending a Postgres related meetup where they were talking about Postgres new features. So I could actually be trying out the databases before even looking at the source code, because that's a good way to get started. Just use the database as a user, as a client, as a customer, right? And basic features to very complicated features, and then read the source code to understand what is being done behind the scenes to power this feature, right? Whatever feature I'm learning. So they were talking about new Postgres features and all in that meetup. And in Postgres conference also, I saw a lot of people contribute to Postgres and all. I want to learn how to contribute to Postgres, and maybe just contribute myself, and learn a lot from it. And yeah, there are so many companies out there, monitoring and alerting and observability. Companies like Honeycomb, companies like, I think, Middleware and whatnot. There are so many companies out there, and some consultancy companies like, I think, I forgot the name of this company, Intel. Like, I forgot this company's name, but I spoke to the founders of the company and the people in the company basically, and it was pretty interesting. Incerto, INCERTO. So they actually believe that ClickHouse and they are masters of ClickHouse and monitoring and observability, and companies like Signos are also in the monitoring and alerting and observability space. And then companies like Bitdrift, which I noticed today, which is actually in the mobile observability, mobile monitoring and observability, and then so many other things are there out there. So I forgot one was called Code Cloud or CodeMate something. I get emails of that company, which is also in the monitoring and alerting and observability. And then of course I had someone more in my mind. Yeah, infrastructure cloud optimization companies also. There are many. I forgot the names, but one of them is Attatus, which I spoke like, which I actually noticed, and I spoke to someone yesterday also. I think it's a company where Indians started it up. So they started up, I think. And I forgot the other names, but I noticed them in a conference, in a DevOps conference, right? And what else? Yeah, there are many things that I could be doing that I'm not doing as of now. And I could do it one by one, little by little, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it all. But I'm gonna try. And yeah, I want to make videos, and I'm already doing that, thankfully. So I'm just gonna look at what am I not doing and try to do more of it. Um, if I, assuming if I want to do it, right? If I want to do it, yeah, I do want to do a lot of things. So and yeah, also want to learn fighting, defense, offense, something like jujitsu, karate, kung fu, right? Boxing and kickboxing, right? Um, so yeah, there are many things that I'm not doing and that I could be doing and that I want to do. Um, I'm just gonna see how I can focus on one thing at a time. And yes, there are a lot of resources out there in the form of text, like blogs, articles, research papers, many things, right? And then in the form of audio, a lot of video in the form of images, and then in the form of people, like you can talk to people and all, right? And text, there's also project like open source projects and source code and whatnot. So yeah, and yeah, I mean I can talk to, for example, Shamsher Ansari to understand how he did infrastructure cloud optimization, and also look at people's resume to understand how people you know um, get employed, or assuming they used that resume, what a resume is public, that only for applying to the company. A lot of people put their resumes on their blog or website or on their LinkedIn and many other places, I think. So if I can actually access some of these resumes and also understand if where they used it for, or maybe just talk to people, right? And I also am not actually talking to more and more people about work or life in general. Not just my friends, but I'm seeing new people. So I'm starting to do that a bit. Like, I spoke to some new people. Like, I think Rini Varghese is a person on LinkedIn. I spoke to her like 2 weeks back and 3 weeks back. Every week we had some coffee and conversations meet up. Today is a virtual one, so I'll attend that. I think I'm not doing much of talking to other people outside my circles, friends, and yeah, I'm not attending meetups where it's not about work, but it's about just connecting, talking about something else or something high level, not just work. Say starting up a company or finance for a company and stuff like that. That's again a bit of work, but yeah, and yeah, of course, connect with people, talk to people, maybe form friendships or form a circle where you can just discuss stuff, talk to people and all. And so there's this thing called Agara Walks. Went for that, I think, last week. This week it's not happening, I think. And then, and yeah, I mean, this coffee and conversations meetup where I talk to people who are in different domains, and I just talk about life or anything random, right? So yeah, and yeah, read more and more about people. I'm not doing much of that, and read the news every day. I'm not doing that. And yeah, read the history, learn from history, like history about wars, history about countries and whatnot. So that's something I would like to do. So I'm not doing it yet. And I've done it before, but I don't remember much. Understand politics, understand world politics and the politics in my country and whatnot. As in the whole politicians and governments, not the kind of politics happening in world. Um, yeah, learn how to network with people and whatnot. So there are many things that I want to do that I'm not doing. Either I'm not doing yet, like I've not done it before at all. I have done it before, but not much, and I want to do it again. Like in between, I just paused. So that's all I had for this video, talking about what I'm not doing, and what I could be doing. Sometimes in my head, it's more like what I should be doing, and yeah, and of course, what I want to do and what I could be doing. Cool. So that's all I had for this video. I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, what I could be doing, I could also be teaching people. For example, teaching students. For example, from my college, from my alma mater, and I could be going to conferences and meetups, and I could be a speaker, and I could run every day that I'm not doing, and I could walk more every day, and yep, and I could be more and more mindful instead of mindless, and focused, also mindful and focused and in the moment, than thinking too much about the past or too much about the future, like worrying about the past or worrying about the future, and try to use the now. Yeah, I think that's all I had for this video. If I have more, I'll do one more. See you. Bye bye.